Shalom. Want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakak Wadash, Ma'amah. Want to give a double honor to the elders and apostles of GMS, and the salutations to the sincere Aki pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm the Karban Yasharala, coming out of the GMS Lions Den camp here in Jacksonville, Florida, and be coming out with a little lesson today. And the title of that lesson is the missiles, and or i.e. the arrows, because of the physical terminology of missile is not in the scriptures, but the terminology of arrow is, and different words, glittering swords, and various words like that. But this was John the Revelator, because the Heavenly Father had showed him the vision of this place of Babylon being destroyed. But the point of this lesson is it's talking about the missiles. And I ain't gonna do too much, going too deep in it, but I'm gonna go as far as the Heavenly Father would allow me to go, and I'm gonna expound on what He allowed me to, what He gave me. But nonetheless, the missiles, I'm just gonna go into the description of them. How how John seen them. And he described it in the best words that he could in the time that he was in. But without further ado, I ain't gonna do too much talking. I'm gonna just get right into it. But again, this is talking about the missiles, the ICBM missiles, the places that's gonna, the instruments of the Heavenly Father's indignation, His wrath, that are gonna be shot on this place to destroy this place. Without further ado, I'm gonna get right into it. This is Revelation chapter 9. And the number of the army of horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. Now, the number of the army, this is a parabolic metaphorical saying on a simile of how many of the missiles that will be shot, which will be 200 million, 200,000. If you do 200,000 times 1,000, you will get 200 million. And it's going to be so much, it's going to be so many of the missiles that it's going to be like an army. Again, it says, and the number of the army is referring to those ICBM missiles, because it's going to be a lot of them shot over here. Of the horsemen, because they're gonna fly, and they're gonna ride like horsemen in the army going towards to do battle. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. 200,000. That is 200,000 times 1,000, which equals 2 million. So there's going to be 200 million. So like, not 2 million, but 200 million ICBM, nuclear ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles that'll be shot from the various places around the earth on this place called Babylon, America. Verse 17, and I thus saw the horses in the vision. Now, this is John talking. This is just parabolic for, he's talking about the missiles. This is what it's talking about. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Now, out of their mouth issuing fire and smoke and brimstone, that's just the nuclear warheads that's going to be in them, that when they hit, kaboom, they're gonna be fire everywhere. It's gonna be explosions, it's gonna be fire, it's gonna kick up dust, it's gonna blow superheated heated air, radiation, all of that. But nonetheless, it says, I saw the horses, talking about the missiles, and them that sat upon them having breastplates of fire. It's the tale of these missiles, man. When they get shot, they're gonna have a fuel system to propel them, through the air to their target. And yet again, I'm gonna just read it over again. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth, not hyacinth, but jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, out of their mouths issued fire, smoke, and brimstone. That's the nuclear warhead that's going to be on the end of the missile, that when they hit, it's going to be fire. Kaboom, it's going to melt the elements. But it's just a description first. I'll get into a little bit of the destruction they're going to do, but right now it's just a description. I'm gonna just keep on reading. By these 3 By these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire, by the smoke, and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. That's just the damage of the missile that is going to come after the missile hits. After these supposed horsemen that John seen, which is the missiles, and out of their mouth issued fire and brimstone. That's just when the missiles hit, the initial explosion from the warhead, the nuclear warhead, and it's going to kill a lot of our people. It's going to kill 2/3 of Israel and all these other nations that's over here in this country, in this place called Babylon, when these missiles hit, if they are still here. By these three, Salakia, was the third part of men killed by fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. See, now the power that is talking about, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails, that's the nuclear warheads. That's the representation of the mouth. And the power in the tails is the fire, the system in which this missile will be propelled from its silo to its target. For their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Now that's just an explanation of the missiles and the damage that they will cause and will cause. Again, it said, for the power is in their mouth. That's the nuclear warhead that's going to be attached to the ICBM, the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. And in their tails, when these rockets are shot, they have a jet propulsion system on the back of it that spews out fire. That's going to propel it from wherever it's shot from over here to this place to be destroyed, to destroy this place. Again, it says, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Their tails were like serpents. That's the best way John, the Revelator, that we call him John, our brother, could describe these ICBM missiles. The power's in their head. The power's in their head, their nuclear warhead. When it hit, they issued out fire and brimstone. You know, it says they had fire coming from the tails too. That's just the jet propulsion system that's going to launch these missiles from their silos in these various places over here on Babylon. Because if you ever look at a missile and you pay attention to a missile, when they shoot a missile up, what happens? It has fire. It's a jet propulsion that propels the missile up into its target. And it says, and the heads, it says, and heads, and with them they do hurt. Again, the nuclear warheads, because they're gonna blow up things. They're gonna kaboom. They're gonna destroy things. Jump to Jeremiah chapter 50 real quick. Just to, you know, another description of the missiles, the ICBMs, the Intercontinental Ballistic Missiles. This is Jeremiah chapter 50. Verse 9, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. They shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall turn in vain. Now, this last part, because this first part is talking about these other nations that's going to team up and band together and turn on Esau, the so-called white man, the Edomites. But the last part is talking about the missiles. Their arrows. See, that's another word for missile. Though I said before, the word missile is physically not in the scriptures. But things like arrows, tails like serpents that issue fire. They make, you know, just different analogies, different metaphors and similes that are talking about the ICBMs that are going to come and destroy this place. Again, this is, their arrows shall be of a mighty expert man. I mean, they're going to be shot. Somebody that's an expert, let's say somebody that's an expert archer, when he or she shoots that arrow, it's going to hit its target. It's not going to turn left. It's not going to turn right. It's not going to go up. It's not going to go down. It's going to go to its target. Again, their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall turn in vain. These arrows, these missiles, these arrows are not going to turn around They're not gonna go left. They're not gonna go right. They're not gonna blow up in the air. They're not gonna run into each other or hit each other and cause no. All these 200,000, them 200 million missiles, all of them are gonna hit their targets. Every last one of them. And the Heavenly Father is gonna put His Spirit upon those missiles so that they will hit their target, which is here in this place called America, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, Babylon. I'm gonna jump. This the same chapter, Jeremiah 50. I'm gonna jump to verse 42. I'm gonna just start at 41 just to behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. That's just these other nations binding together and coming upon and coming up against this place. My point is verse 42. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea. They shall ride upon horses, everyone put in array, like a man to battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. That's talking about the missiles. These missiles, when they are shot off, if you watch missiles, you know what I'm saying, on YouTube, when they do the missile testing, they make that loud, powerful noise. It sound like the sea, sound like something it's loud, it's noisy. That's the same thing. That's how these missiles are gonna be. But this is just a description of it. It's just a description of the missiles and how they're going to function and what they're going to do. Again, they shall hold the bow. It's talking about these other nations and the lance. They are cruel, these missiles, and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea. They shall ride upon horses, everyone put in array, like a man to the battle, against thee, O daughter of Babylon. It's talking about these missiles. These missiles, they gonna go like a man in the battle. They're not gonna turn left or they're not gonna turn right. You know what I'm saying? Everyone, they're gonna put them in array. All these other countries are gonna shoot these missiles over here. They're gonna go up into the atmosphere and then they're gonna come down. I'm gonna jump to Jeremiah 51. I ain't gonna jump to, I'm gonna go to Jeremiah 51. This is Jeremiah 51, verse 11. It says, make bright the arrows. It's talking about these missiles yet again. Gather up the shields. The Lord Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes for his devices against Babylon, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. Now, yet again, it says, make bright the arrows. That is talking about these thermonuclear